Oh shoot. I started to record. I think I failed recording this. So we have played a little bit before I started this. My opponent played the Scandi, or e4, and I played the Scandi, and we went here, 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 and there. They stopped the bishop g4s, want to go with the knight there. But yeah, apparently I forgot to press the record button, but at least I noticed that. So our plan now is we still probably want the bishop outside the pawn chain. But now we are very limited to the bishop f5, or stick it here. Also option. We could also try e6, c5, and like I don't really know what that would be, to be honest. Like let's try that. I'm just trying to figure out what opening we could get into this kind of setup here from. I mean, obviously Scandi, but it's a bit unusual Scandi now. So is there a reason why I could not bang in c5? Because I don't think this is coming through. They have a check, but I assume we can block it with somebody. That block might be a little troublesome with the bishop there. I mean c5, check, bishop d7. d5. Choppity chop. No. That's just right. Easy way, right? Can't play this and check at the same time. I was thinking here already, but he's not even close there. So c5, bishop b5, bishop d7 seems alright. I mean, I guess he could take. And if I take with the queen, hit the knight there. But then we just take the pawn, yeah. So I can take it, and well, if they take here, we take here and take there, and seems alright. Let's just bang c5. I don't think that's gonna hurt me. That's not legal. Well, it's legal, but hangs a pawn as far as I can see. I did kind of on purpose put this guy inside. It will come out somehow, like here, or here, or I mean, sometimes sadly there. It's a bit of a dilemma after you play e6, but e6 is I mean, it's a bit faster move in a sense that we open up the bishop here and then are a little more ready to castle. I don't know how are we gonna follow up here. I mean, depends on what white is gonna do. Not sure, to be honest. He could maybe go here. Does not seem like a horrible move. Taking looks a little dodgy with taking there, and the knights on the back rank I'll take here. Seems to be really good for, well, it's not like winning good or anything, but feel like we're doing decently there. This could be some kind of French structure too. In somehow like well, it's a bit hard to get here from French. I was thinking something, but I would have this and the e-pawn disappeared, like something, knight there, queen goes back kind of situation. Perhaps. Alright, so logical, Le Pin. Well, I guess the question becomes now is this coming a thing? While the knight is pinned. I suppose it could be. So if I go here, for instance, can they push d5? I'll chop. And if they chop, then we just take, of course. If it chops first here, I could take this way, they take this way, hit my queen, hit the fork here. I don't think I can pull off the queen takes b6. Looks looks a little suspicious. Because it's not threatening anything, except that I'm gonna check that they can block with the other knight. So here. Can't take, of course, take with the knight. I have to take with the pawn or do something else. Another option, of course, is to take here, but I'd rather take there with the knight though, but maybe we just have to and then they'll take either way. I don't know, take, play a6 or something. Oh, take if they take with the queen. I guess this is also a legal move. And then if he takes there, then it comes a little dodgy. Because if I take with the bishop, then this is kind of hanging here, kind of. Where we could maybe take here, and then he'd have an extra pawn, but he'd have a triple C pawn, isolated triple C pawn. I could also play here this keep this on guard here, the bishop, but then this is no longer guarded well. Can maybe push. And we don't have to react to the push by taking or anything, but and we'd have the bishop pair. But if there is a pawn here, how are we gonna get these guys out? Not so easy. I guess there's also a legal move is to, if I go here to take here, I'll chop, they'll chop, I'll chop. Knight here threatens this. Also a little bit unpleasant. Should I just take here and make my life a little easier? Knight c6, d5. He takes, bishop takes, queen takes, knight. I don't know, I'll take here. Alright, so they just took. I suppose that is legal. I don't think this is gonna end up well though. Oh, sorry, this castles check. Bishop here is probably quite unpleasant. I wonder what this takes a6. Makes a bit of a whole situation here. Feel like I have been somewhere similar before. I mean, I guess bishop knight bd7 is legal, but then this comes even more period here. What would we deny this? Knight c6, queen takes a6. Like trying to keep these guys away from there, but the dark squares get a little weak. A little bit weak. I don't know, I'll just try it. I have an idea of sticking, like if they try to sneak there, I'll just stick the knight there and kick this right. Cover this. There's also some pins around there if we could do it. Or I could have maybe played the bishop b4. That was one of the ideas I had. Instead of this. With the idea that we come here and there and defend. Alright, so they are saying bishop comes here and makes it very hard for me to develop this side here. Probably true. Bishop here, bishop here. Also, probably this is a legal move. With the idea just to, if he wants to, he can give me a isolated c pawn, a pawn. Like I'm gonna just go here. Let him take there if he wants to let me Okay, let's think a little bit before we just chop it there. I am kind of bot committed now. Like, is there any instant horrible crush there somewhere? I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Of course, I could take here with the pawn, but I don't think the bishop being stuck there. This might be somehow like positional catastrophe. I don't know about, but it is what it is. Bishop here legal, knight d5 legal. Bishop e7 is probably legal move. I don't know. I probably should keep them away from there though. Knight there. Where would they go? Knight a4? Question mark? I don't know. This seems doable though. I didn't want to make another like weakness there, even though maybe it's fine. I'd be kind of happy if they fix my pawns, not expecting this. I mean, I suppose bishop b4 was an option. Trying to chop there. I don't know what they do if I go here, knight here. No, that was not possible. I had a knight here. Maybe a rook d3. All right, I see some problems with my logics here. c4 is definitely coming, isn't it? Maybe it comes with c4, c5 and like stick somebody here. Not problematic. I could play f5. Kick that knight to somewhere where the sun don't shine. And by that I mean d2. And then we could like follow up with the bishop, right? Because bishop doesn't have any squares afterwards. This is, of course, positionally stupid, right? Positionally stupid. Making another backwards pawn here. Hoop-de-doo-doo. I mean, maybe if it goes here, I mean, I don't have to tie, I can try to take it here. He can of course push there, but I'll just take and fix my pawns nicely, and we're kind of cute there. Here I can take, and I kind of lean towards taking, because that puts a pawn in front of my backwards e-pawn. This looks good, but I assume c4 is coming, and then it's gonna get kicked away. Bit saddening for sure. You have an isolated pawn. Thinking of attacking either that pawn, or maybe we'll castle and get the rook to the d file. I think I'll take here though. And bishop should not be bad against the knight in this kind of open. Okay, my pawn structure is not the best, but also they have their own set of problems. I assume this is gonna happen though. I assume that is gonna happen. I would probably like to be away from the e-file when that happens. Like, if they take and I'll take, and there's gonna be a check to pay. Also, somehow it feels like the king, I mean, it could be useful supporting to have the 4 versus 3 on this side. Like trying to support the passed pawn there. But on the other hand, they have a 3 versus 2, so maybe I want to have a king ready to meet on that side. So I'll just do this with the intention of just pretty much ignoring whatever they do, and I'll stick some bishop somewhere. This is like a plan of sorts. Alright, that is probably a good plan. I do want to connect my rooks though. I'm thinking bishop c5. Like keeping the knight honest with this e-pawn. Also, it's kind of taking few checks away. Not that I don't really think that's a check should be worried about, but so I can just go here. This is of course a nice outpost for the knight, but apart from the fork, I guess it's kind of hitting a lot of things. But I can always get out of the fork with check. Also now he has to deal with this pawn here. I could maybe like stick the rook there, and if it takes, I'll take and kind of fix my pawns even better. Alright, so that defends that twice. So taking is not gonna get me anywhere. Also, it kind of fixes their pawns. So I'm kind of leaning towards just sticking the rook there, covering this square. The knight is not going anywhere. Maybe they'll go there. I don't know. Let's just go there. I'm kind of low on time. Well, not low on time yet, but I have a lot less than my opponent. Well, the plan is of course gonna be something there. They bring out the king there. So the rook is not coming here, I assume. Probably a good thing to assume. We could throw a sneaky check there. Have to be careful with the fork here. I don't think that's gonna lead to much. Only point would be to somehow not to unprotect the rook with the pawn. I guess he could also just move the king away. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. No, kind of would like to push the pawn twice, but not so easy. And also, since this is defended well, I'm not sure my rook belongs on the d file. Because I assume this is gonna go somewhere unpleasant. Like either g4 and trying to push there to make room, or here and trying to push this and make some inroads for the rook. King here probably would be like a good move in a way. Could be exposed if said things happen, but also is kind of covering some of the knight jumps there if I have to move the bishop. I would also defend this in case this ever happens. I don't know, maybe it would free the rook to go here, but that's not a thing. Okay, I'll go here just in case I want to move the bishop, for instance, like here and there. And then we don't have to deal with the fork all the time here. Ooh. Really, Catelli? Here though? I guess a3. I mean, this is kind of becoming more tempting though. Or maybe we bait a3 and then go there. I don't know. Let's go there for fun. It's not, well, it is technically threatening to win a pawn here. This is defended kind of. But this is definitely a threat to win a pawn. I suppose they should just go back, or I guess some rook move 2 could be a move, or a pawn move b3. This is covered. b5, b4 is probably equal to. b4 could start to get undermined with c5 though. b3 also of course leaves the pawn there. Kind of vulnerable. You have to keep the knight covering it. I still think maybe. All right. Well, I'll stick the bishop there. Okay. Could now chop, and he has to take with a king, because pawn takes, drops the b3. Then come to the d file, king here, maybe bishop slides to c3. Let's do it. Keep their pieces wrong. The bishop looks decent here. It's kind of covering, dominating the knight, kind of nice. Maybe it's trying to enter there. I guess they could go for a rook trade on d1. Or that, supposedly. Yeah, he wants to make some kind of a inroads for sure. Takes, getting to the F file is legal. I don't have an ways in any huge. G5 is probably legal too. Not that I'm threatening anything, and then I'm definitely not threatening there because we make a backwards pawn here. Anything you do it fast though. The knight is somehow, it's dominated, but it's also kind of dominating, which often is the case. It is somewhat threatening. And it's covering this entry square, which I've always sometimes said that I do love the knight in front of the isolated pawn that's defending an entry square. One of my favorite patterns in chess. I would like to have that knight too. Alright, I'll take here in, but then I'm gonna, guess he could, no, I was gonna say that maybe he could sack a pawn and go to the F file. Not that this is threatening anything. I gave up the D file, but in hopes that he can't get anywhere in either. Even though, now that I think about it, he could get there. Is this a pawn sack he could do? Or that one? Oh, is my bishop in some kind of danger at some point? Just realized I thought that this is not threatening anything because the knight can't move here or here. But it could be threatening the bishop backwards. Well, I guess in a sense that the knight can't really go anywhere. Without the bishop taking it, it's not that dangerous. And I can always go to a very funny square in the corner. But I think I'll just go for the g-pawn. Maybe. I do like the bishop there. I guess he could hit the bishop with the king. Oh, is my bishop almost trapped there? Almost. If he would go over here, this would be a horribly annoying move to meet. Now if he could rise this way, this of course traps the bishop, but I can maybe go this side. But then... I don't know what then. But yeah, I have to keep an eye on this, that this does not have too many squares. The moment 1, the king moves 2. If the rook goes here, none. I have to make some room for here, for instance. This had the downside that it kind of trapped the bishop. Kind of. Luckily the bishop holds there, so that is not a threat because I'll just take it and... wow, John. Okay, so he's making a square for the knight there. Fair. Idea there. I don't know. I'll go here. Question this. Guess he could go there and then I hit this and then hit the knight. He could go there. So this is probably legal move. Going for the A pawn. My bishop is attacked instantly after I take here. Well, so be it. Assume here. I think I'm gonna go for the A-pawn. Let him chop there. I have a few passers here. He's gonna have a few passers here, and he's probably gonna win this one, to be honest. Also defends this one by doing it. So here looks fine. Can't really defend my thingies, can I? Well, the bishop is attacked, so I have to move it. Good as any. Holding this and attacking this. I mean, I guess the knight blocks this, so it's not defended this way. There's a blindness in my calculations. Not that I'm calculating anymore at all. This is covered, so he can't really... I mean, he can of course come back, no worries, but then he's not taking here. So and if he takes there, I think I'm gonna go here, there. And, well, I'm just gonna go there. Be mindful that is a forking square. After, for instance, I'll take... Oh, can I... Oh. But I wanted to defend this though. But now this might lose to knight here, right? Can't take here because of the fork. And I can't come back, and it hits the bishop. So I cannot take there. Sadness intensifies. I could go here though. Wait a minute, he can't come here. Am I stupid? Am I stupid? Well, don't have to answer that instantly, but let's just chop there. Hope for the best, right? This is, of course, I have to, if he goes there, I have to go to a square that's not a check. That's also legal, but now I can at least come back, right? Cover this. Also this. This is, of course, kind of a scary runner there. Okay, let's just stop it with the king. Why not? The downside is this is already here and mine is still like not moving. What is that threatening? What is das? Oh, I don't know. Let's run. I need counterplay. I mean, oh, I understand, but I already thought that he's gonna do it, and I was thinking that he can't do c4 and he has to move the king. Then he moved the king and I forgot what it's doing. Supporting this, and then this, and then this. I suppose we take there, so he has to do something before that. But yeah, it's not dangerous. Not how many negatives is that? Is that positive or negative? Maybe we just, well, this is gonna be a problem after that though, isn't it? So we could go here, the knight goes there though. It's not gonna, I was thinking that at least I would, if he checks, I'll go here, but you can also come here and then do this. That is gonna be dangerous no matter what we do, right? King here, go just into a freakishly strong discovery. I mean, I guess here and then can't even go here, can I? This is stupid, of course, but if I just push and they push, this comes huge threat. I have to go somewhere here and then this, and it's already made threat. It's made threat in 3. This is not even close to, well, it needs 1, 2, 3, 4 to queen. And 5 to check. Not enough. This is a check. That is a check. I don't know how this helped me in any case. Just dropping that with check. But I'm hoping it's gonna at least distract the knight a little less. I mean, I guess not. It's gonna, if I went here, it's just gonna check me and get the knight back to good square. Well, let's pretend the knight is not as good as here as it would be there. Let's pretend. Okay, push once. Blink if you're in danger. This was a big threat, I think. It still is, but maybe this way and then something little. But yeah, probably that and there and yeah. Chop. I go here. Can do anything and then just promote, right? This is pretty dunzo anyways. This is pretty dunzo. I don't know, let's put the rook here for no reason at all. I guess this is also a legal way to make a checkmate. I have to give up the rook. Knight was as good as it was in any other place too. This is not stopping anything. I assume this is winning. Yeah, I'm noting here. All right, yeah, that was bad. All right, so where did we go wrong? I haven't really played this way ever, but of course white setup is a little different than what I usually face anyway. C5 here. Chop. Had a lot of options here though, but like knight c6. I was not sure. I want not of course take there now, but if they push, what happens now? I'll take. Then they'll take here probably. If I take here, knight takes. Bad. Like maybe I could survive this. Maybe. I don't know. Can I? Yeah, this is at least the tempo on this idiot here. Also, there's check forcing him backwards anyways. Of course, he could first take here. I'll take somehow and then push there. And again, well, it's kind of same, right? Exact same. Not sure this is actually holdable at all, but maybe it is. I'm asking for a friend. Queen e2. It's gonna have a little nagging edge there. Knight f4. Yeah, more than a nagging edge. Okay, yeah, the queen e2 is kind of disruptive. Unless he has something better. Let's ask here. Not here, here. Apparently bishop b5 is the most annoying. But this is almost like where we are. Or went. Except here it's better. Oh no. Only bad choices. Castles. Also probably this. Yeah, this is a mess of course. Yeah. Right, so take was alright. Would the computer play a6? Yes. G3. Then it would just go b5. Let this happen and to put the rook there. I've seen this pattern in the I don't know, maybe Sicilian sometimes and maybe in French too. Or some other d4 openings. Yeah. Not that, I don't know. Not this would get rid of the light squared bishops without too much trouble. And I assume if it goes a4, I'll just b4 it and we are fine around here. Yep. Alright, so chop, 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 chop. There. Kind of curious that there is no positions that have ever gone this way. Guess the h3, g3 makes it unique. Wouldn't guess you would have played both as white. But this kind of formation I feel like is definitely I've seen this before. But maybe not with this there and I don't know, something different in black's position maybe. This was, apparently that was also wrong because of my f5. And the bishop gets a bit trapped because the knight has no, I mean he could go back here but then double. And it has its own problems. Yeah, f5 was good for me. Takes. Would the computer actually take there? It does. This was fine. What did I press? Why did it start running like that? This seemed fine. Oh. That is not so fine. Wonder why. Is there any better move here? No, rook d5 is fine. h5, g5. Yeah. I was not sure what's the setup on this side, so I didn't really touch that side at all. Was this better to go there first? Let's ask Mr. Machine. No, again. Or bishop d6. Go for this pawn. Give up the bishop. To be honest, none of these are really convincing. This is not really a threat either. Without the rook here. Not horrible. Maybe not the best. Just stick the bishop back here. If there, rook there, rook d5. Yeah, I mean it's what it is, 0, 0, 0, 0. But I guess here I have to find a different plan because this, I didn't see all this though. b4 best move. And this is just too slow. I thought I have counterplay with the runny Mr. H pawn, but it never got really going. Tempo. Best move. Not so best move. Not the best move. That was the only move, but here I should play rook c4. Alrighty. Hits that. If there, we'll give a check. Rook c5. That's defended. If there, not good. King c7. Meh. Alright, yeah, it's not easy to go like that. Not an easy move to find, at least not for me. Or this one, yeah. I thought I was doing kind of similar things here with the king. But the king is... This was bad. Yeah, best move. And my h pawn is just gonna be too slow. Alright, here I thought this, but then I don't see how I'm stopping this and that and that. The threat is just here, here. Only move here. Threatens mate. Only way to stop it is to sack the bishop. Then apparently we don't even have to do anything because this comes with checks. Horrible. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah. So this was kind of trying to stop this and that by hitting this and that. But yeah, sad part is that here it's a check. Check go. But yeah, those pawns, the king is just gonna be on the way. I hoped it was gonna stop them, but it just ended up being on the way. But to be honest, probably doesn't matter. It's gonna be bad anyways. Yeah, nothing to do here. It's just gonna go through. Yeah, it was interesting, but not very good. This was apparently inaccuracy. Yeah. I should go rook d8 or b8, and I suppose we are just gonna go here and here if they do the rook c5. They do b5 first, then rook d5 anyways, and kick this guy away. And then maybe we could get here. Alright, so bad. Now I can't stop this plan. And now it's just too late. This is apparently another mistake, but that's not it's already gone. It's my third mistake. This one, but again, losing move in a losing position does not make a difference. And the blunder is this one. This I agree with. But to be honest, it's not easy to find. The only defense here is rook c4. Kind of stopping this with tempo, and I mean that was not coming yet here, but not letting the other pawn get this far. I mean, I guess in a longer game you could like actually think about it, that I did think this is coming, but I was holding this square and I was thinking at my mind, you have to trust me on that this is coming, and then he's gonna push there. And I thought maybe it's too slow and I just push and get some counterplay, but it came with too much force. But if you actually calculate this, and then you kind of somehow maybe could find this move in a way that you realize this could stop the pawn going forward. I don't know. Not sure I would find this in a real game, to be honest. By real game, I mean a classical or the board. It is as real as anything else. Alright, my opponent played one inaccuracy here. This one apparently throws away the game, or the small advantage because of the rook c4, and then taking here apparently is a slight mistake. c3 is better. So if he goes there, what's my best move here? It is that one. And then he should just do this. But if he's, yeah, then this is not really a mistake, is it? This still is winning for white. Yeah, I don't think so, boys and girls. I mean, of course, this is a mistake because of that. Alright, whatever. That was bad, but until next time, ciao.